What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today is the 24th of January, but I'm recording this video to cover the price action on the 23rd. That was yesterday, Friday. Let's get right into the video. So first of all, didn't take any trades yesterday. Kind of upset. I missed a beautiful trade yesterday. Some nice clean buys right out the block, but unfortunately I wasn't able to capitalize on those because I was in a meeting at work, so I wasn't on my phone or anything. I could even take a look at starter position, and the positions that I had from the previous day, they got stopped out, and by the time I got out, the market had already did its thing, and I couldn't chase it. It was a Friday, and yeah, it's the end of the week. We have 1 week pretty much left in this month, and from what I'm looking at right now, this week was a much cleaner week. Still volatile, but a much cleaner week in terms of price action in the market. So let's get right into the video. So starting out with the higher time frame, let's see what we look like on the 4-hour time frame. So looking at Nasdaq, this is how we ended up closing out the week. Hold on, I'm trying to come on, man. This thing not working with me. Anyways, this is how we ended up closing out the week. I was just trying to load the template where I could get. Alright, fine, there. I wanted the lines. Alright, so looking at this is how we ended the week. We ended the week up after selling off. Honestly, I thought we would have continued selling off for the rest of the month, but we made a sharp retracement. So from where we opened, we had a huge gap down here. So this week gap down here, we sold off for the first 2.5 days, and then we started a rally. So pretty much Wednesday formed the low of the week here, and then we just ran up for the rest of the week. So this reversal here engulfed the previous daily's candle, close above the highs, and then the other 2 days just continued up. So we went to the low of this range. So last week we were stuck inside of here, but this week we traded back into some little bit of a cleaner price action. We came into this 4-hour fair value gap that I have here, and then that's where we bounce from. So let's see what this is. So this is US 30, and this is US 500. So pretty much the same thing right across the board. Looking now at the US 500, see we close the week down still, but still a sharp recovery on US 30. Now on US 500, we barely close the week green. So gap down across all 3 indices, and yeah, let's see what we get going into next week. That's it for the higher time frame. Now looking at the 15 minute, I should say, the 15 minute here, this is what we look like. So let's see if I can load this. So we pretty much traded inside this new week opening gap from Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we inside the new week opening gap. We managed to close above it barely. Hopefully we just either continue up now or we're going to break back down because we kind of had a little bit of a sell-off during the PM session around midday. Yeah, man. So as I was saying, we closed the day above this previous weekly gap. So today we had a little bit of a gap down here. I had some positions resting in here that I had took from down here. The previous day came pretty close to my stop loss here, and then I finally got stopped out over here before we get a little bit of a rally. So we bought up. I was up almost 1.5% here. I should just take them off. Being that we run this internal high, I wanted us to just continue, or even if we pull back, maybe to this gap here. Didn't expect to take out the low, but you know, it is what it is. Got stopped out and then we ran higher before coming back lower. Maybe if it came up here, I would have made a little bit more, probably closer to 1% or 3/4%, but it is what it is. We ended the day coming back down here. I still have my runner from the cells, and that is still holding, that I have from last week, Friday. So let me show you what we actually did. This was the first opportunity of the day. This is around 10 p.m. That's in Asian session right here. 10 p.m. Yeah, man. So Asian session right around 10 a.m. We had this first buy opportunity to these highs from this little order block right here. Then we traded sideways throughout the day. Traded sideways throughout the night. This was another buy a little bit after midnight, closer to 1 a.m. We had this buy. Then we kind of tapped out here and started selling off. This was when I should have just took out the buys that I had from the previous day. So I should just TP here, you know. But it is what it is. So we rolled over and we started selling off. We came down, tried to attempt another rally here, but we had really broke structure, change character here, and then we started to sell off. This is London session, and this was the first sell opportunity from this 1 hour order block. So we sold from this, well, from this 1 minute order block, I should say. So this 1 minute order block that we have here gave us a nice sell that you could have held for pretty much the whole of London session. So one entry there, another one there, and we just continued going down. We had another entry here. So we had the silver bullet entry right here, continuing down. This was a sell entry also, and then we had this one during the macro. So this was a nice trade. This one went about 1 to 7. This one, well, 1 to 7 from this, before this retracement. This is another 1 to 5. This is another 1 to 10. And you could have held this to probably 1 to 15, 1 to 17. Then we decided to just consolidate, resting in this 15-minute order block right here. It's a 15-minute, this gray zone is a 15-minute order block. So we decided to just, you know, rest there, and it's also the new day opening gap from Thursday night, it going into the Friday. So we got a rally here right around 5:50 to 6:10. We got this rally, then we came back down. This was another sell-off outside of the macro. This one is a bit late, sideways. So this 1 hour candle here is pretty much a doji. Then we had this sell-off again right around 7:30 to 8, coming down before we got into the main session. I don't remember if we had any news drivers because, as I said, this is the time when I'm heading to work, and I was in the meeting right around here. So right at 9:30 here, we decided to run up, come back down. If I had taken this trade, I possibly would have to have put my stop all the way down here. But this was the ideal entry using this fair value gap right here to rally up. So this was a beautiful trade on the 10 o'clock candle. So we opened the 10 a.m. candle right here, and we just continued up. So this was one entry down here before 10. This was around 9:50 during the macro, and I gave a slight pullback here. I could have just caught this breakout here with stops below here for another entry, and this one gave us a 1 to 8, depending on how tight your stop is. So that one came up. By the time we got to 11, we got an inversion here during the 11 a.m. macro, and we decided to roll over. So this was the high of the day right there, and then after that we just decided to sell off. So inversion entry here for the sell, another entry here, selling coming down. By the time we got to midday, lunchtime, this was a sell. We had a nice little buy right around 1 a.m. here, and by the time we got to 2 p.m., it's just a range bound market. So ranging for, let's see, 60 points, 60 point range. We had a sell during this macro here and another one here. So this for the 2 p.m. So 2 p.m. buys up, and then we had a sell from this zone. So it would have been this little area here you would classify as an order block right here coming across. So use all of this, or you could specify this fair value gap inside of here. So we sold from there, came back up, sold again, and to end the day right around 4, we just pretty much slid down and close here. Now there are some more tweets and stuff from Trump, so let's see if we're going gap down or gap up again, if depending on how the market interprets this. But that is pretty much it for this week. Ended the week green, but not much. Less trades this week, but that is it for this video. I'll catch you guys on Monday for another review on Nasdaq 100. So until next time, guys, take care, safe trading, and peace.